World Suicide Prevention Day. Holy smokes. I woke up this morning. I didn't know there was something special about today. Turns out today was really special. It's World Suicide Prevention Day. And speaking as somebody who's gone through suicidal periods in his life, deep, dark depressions, I have a soft spot in my heart for people who are suicidal. Whew, it's tough. You know, you think to yourself, when I was suicidal, and even sometimes today, I look around and I think, how are other people living in this world? It sucks. I mean, look, I know, according to Steven Pinker, the world is better than it's ever been, okay? The stats are really great. The numbers are really great. We're doing far better than we ever have in the history of humankind. I get that. But it kind of still seems kind of messed up. It's like a gilded cage. It's like your bars are made out of gold, but you're still stuck in a cage, right? There's something funky going on, and I don't like it. I can barely stand it. If I wasn't working every day in order to change it, I don't know that I could be alive. It seems crazy. That's why I love UBI. UBI is a wonderful tool, a wonderful policy for helping prevent suicide. I mean, if you check out, what was the site I was on? Verywellmind.com, right? They have some examples of why people commit suicide, the top reasons why people commit suicide. I'm not going to tell you in order here, but there are some reasons people commit suicide that definitely UBI would help. Look, if you're feeling worthless, like I used to, if you feel worthless, then I get it. You want out. But if you're getting UBI, suddenly you're not feeling so worthless anymore. Suddenly you're able to do something. Even if you're like me, I used to sleep on someone's couch because I had nowhere to live and no money to eat. Well, suddenly me sleeping on their couch, I can give this person some money now. Suddenly I've become pretty useful. No longer feeling so worthless. Now, the worth that we have as human beings isn't just the money that we can provide, right? That's not the only thing that makes us worthwhile, that makes us valuable. But my God, when I was down in the dumps, if you told me I was going to get $1,000 US, everything for you is in US dollars. Here in Canada, $1,000 US. It's like, what? You're getting how much? $1,000 US, I don't think I'd feel so bad. Plus, I'd have more options. I'd be able to engage with the life more and do more things. So that feeling of worthlessness goes away. At least it gets greatly diminished for a lot of people. Then there's things like childhood and household stress, a financial stress. In childhood, that can be difficult. That can lead to an unhealthy family. That could lead to unhealthy living. It could lead to bad upbringing for a child and for the household. You have mother and father, whoever, the parents who are arguing, the parents who are not getting along. Financial reasons is a reason why a lot of people don't get along. A lot of people fight. That stress is really unbearable, and $1,000 a month would help that, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And then substance abuse. Right? I know some people do substance abuse because they have pain and they take prescription meds and then they move on to other things. They take drugs, they take prescriptions, all illegally, whatever. They do that stuff because they're in pain, they're hurting. They start in a place where they're trying to get better, and then they get worse because of the drugs. But there's a lot of people substance abuse because life is purposeless and pointless, and they have no prospects, or they feel like they don't. And $1,000 a month, that gives you some prospects. That gives you some way forward, right? I don't know how much Andrew Yang talked today about UBI in relation to suicide. I'm pretty sure he had I'm positive he had a tweet about it. That's how I learned about World Suicide Prevention Day, because of Andrew Yang. Thank you, Andrew Yang. But yeah, relating UBI to these things, I think is very important. So substance abuse, lack of purpose. You have $1,000 a month. You can engage with some purpose. You can do some things. You can start a business. You can help somebody. Then there's also the fear of loss, right? According to verywellmind.com, the fear of loss is also a big factor in suicide, right? You're afraid of losing something. You're afraid of losing your job, right? That's tough. Well, with $1,000 a month, you're not as afraid of losing your job because you might be able to still make rent depending on where you live. You'll still be able to eat, right? You'll still have some economic value. And then fear of loss. People are afraid of losing relationships, and a lot of relationships, they end because of financial reasons, right? Come on. Look, I know what it's like to be a guy or a person, let's say a guy, because I think it matters for guys, and not to have money. You're dating, you're trying to meet people, you're trying to be in a relationship, and it's like your girlfriend wants to do something, but you can't because you don't have any money. It's a stressful situation. I've ended relationships because I had no money. It's terribly stressful. And then when those relationships end, you're like down in a funk, and we're so social creatures that we want that love, and when we don't have it anymore, when that person's not around anymore, when we feel shame and alone, that can lead you to a dark place. UBI kind of shine some light in that darkness, I think. Hopelessness. Another reason people kill themselves. Hopelessness. Hope. Do I have to explain this one? Do I really have to explain this one? Does everybody here understand? Hope. You got dollars in your pocket and the ability to do something, to move forward. You got some hope. You can take a class, get some hope. You can start a business, get some hope. Come on. You know what I'm talking about, hopelessness. And then belief. The belief that your life is a burden to others. I remember the way that felt. You feel worthless. You feel like your life is a burden to others. It's one thing to feel worthless. Okay? It's one thing to feel like you have no value. It's quite another to feel like you are a burden to others, a burden to those people you care about. When I had no money and all that stuff, that was one thing. When I was just relying on my family, relying on friends in order to help me out and feeling like I was a burden to them, man, I really wanted to get out of here, man. I really wanted to go. You get $1,000 a month, suddenly you're not a burden to nobody. Not really. Not unless you cost them more than $1,000 a month. Feeling like you're a burden is a nightmare. It's this heavy pressure on your psyche that destroys you. We want to contribute. We want to participate on equal footing. We want to do right by those people around us. And, maybe some of you are in your mother's basement. I know what that's like. Sitting in your mother's basement, dejected, despondent. You're like, I want to make something of my life, but I need a leg up. Feeling like you're a burden, that'll get you off of this planet, that's for sure. And $1,000 a month, I think you won't feel like a burden anymore. I really would like that. Please UBI, please. Could we please get UBI? And lastly, social isolation. You know what I'm talking about, right? You got no money, you got no prospects, you got nothing. You ain't gonna be hanging out with your friends. You ain't gonna wanna go out there in public. Look, maybe it's just me. I crippling social anxiety that I've had to deal with for 20 years now. And one of the reasons that I just stayed a hermit and, not be around people, and what got me anxious, that I didn't have money. I'd go out to like a 5 à 7. I'd go out to a happy hour. It's called 5 à 7, 5 to 7 here in Quebec. I'd go out to a 5 à 7, go out to a happy hour, and, I'd be sitting down there. I have to ask somebody for money to buy a drink. Or maybe I only have enough money to drink one drink, and everybody is drinking, they're having a fun time, and me, I'm sipping on that warm beer for 2 hours. Look, you don't need to drink beer, and you don't have to go to 5 à 7, but feeling isolated, not having any money, that isolates you. And that doesn't make good people. That doesn't make good human beings. That doesn't make people who are like not against the other, not against immigrants, not angry at the world. Isolation, we need to be socialized, and we need to have social experiences. And when you don't have money, it's very easy to retreat back within yourself, to stay by yourself. I know what I'm talking about. I used to live in a basement apartment, had no money for rent. The only food I could eat, only food I had was the leftover peanut butter jar that was in my house. I ate that just out of the jar. No crackers, nothing. You think I felt like having people over? You think I felt like going and doing anything? I was woozy, man. I was woozy, man. I was very woozy. I'd get up, I'd stand up, and I'd just get all dizzy. Plus, I was just skin and bones. So many consequences to not having money. So many consequences to not having money. It's crazy. UBI is like, I was having a conversation in one of the videos here, and one of the videos I made, this gentleman, I'm assuming he's a gentleman, very nice guy. He let me know in this conversation, hey, maybe you're a little bit overly optimistic about how UBI can solve things, and maybe I am, but when I think about these things, to me, UBI will help these things. If I remember the situations that I was in relative to suicide, and I know that a $1,000 a month would have drastically helped me. I wouldn't have felt suicidal. I wouldn't have. Maybe that's just me. World Suicide Prevention Day. I think one of the best things we can do to help people out of that funk, out of that darkness, into the light, is by giving them a little relief. Universal basic income. The freedom dividend. I think it's a great idea.